Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special video program leading up to this grand experiment that is taking place on February 11th of 2023, when thousands of people from around the world will be engaged in a psychedelic journey without the use of any plant medicine, just using the power of breathing and also what I believe to be the most sacred sound in the universe, the literal sound of the name of God. I'm sure you've all had a chance to practice with the video, both the instruction video as well as the meditation itself. I know some people have said that it takes practice. It takes a little bit of time to get that breathing right. And that's okay because it does sometimes. Just give yourself the time before the 11th to really practice so that all of us will be right in the same place. We're going to ask you to start that video right at noon New York time on the 11th, all at the same moment, so that we'll all be tracking each other around the world. And then when the earth suddenly opens up before you, send all of that love, all of that energy that you're feeling to Mother Gaia. This is going to be a profound healing opportunity. And it's the first time ever that people have been engaged in a psychedelic journey this way, en masse, synchronized around the world. So once again, welcome to this very special video because we have two people who are going to be joining us here, two of my dearest friends, Andy and Jonathan Goldman. I'm sure that you both know them. You know them both, rather. The profound sound healers and luminaries on this planet. I've known them both for, gosh, over 25 years, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute you guys and ask, why don't you just unmute yourself? And I'm going to go ahead and put us on to gallery. So hello, good to see you both.
Hello, James. Oh my gosh, we are so happy to be sharing this time with you right now.
James, what a blessing it is to be talking to you and anyone who sees this video. May the information and the sound and the consciousness that we share go out to our planet and all that is. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And we're already talking about the power of sound. That is what this particular meditation is all about. Jonathan and Andy are both experts in the use of sound for profound healing. We're going to get into that a little bit. And we're also going to be talking about the actual sound. Jonathan will actually tell you how it was discovered. It's an amazing story. The literal sound of the name of God. Many of you have heard it through the Moses Code meditation, the CD that I did with Wayne Dyer, but it all started with Jonathan. And Andy, who is an amazing psychologist, therapist, is going to talk to us about another very important aspect, which is the integration that we want to really pay attention to in doing any sort of psychedelic journey, whether it be with sound, breathing, plant medicine, the set and setting, integrating whatever comes up for us, taking time in silence and in prayer to be able to really receive all of the gifts. So I'm going to begin by turning it over to you, Jonathan, and I would just love for you to give us a little bit of the background of this sound and anything else that you'd like to share around that.
Oh, thank you, James. What a blessing. And I'm going to first just say that I'm not a frequencyist, meaning that I believe that there are many different frequencies for many different forms, and that there are many different sounds of God from my perspective. But this is one of the most potent and holy for sure. So I'm going to honor that and say that many years ago, we were all at a sound conference in San Francisco, and you said to me, Jonathan, is there any sort of frequency relationship with I am that I am? And I said, oh, you mean Ehi Asher Ehi? You know, what the actual Hebrew was that Moses was given when he asked the burning bush, who are you? And I said, I don't know. And I said, but let me check this out. So once the conference was over, I went home, and there's something called gematria, which is basically Hebrew numerology, which is based upon the specific numeric frequencies of the different Hebrew letters of the alphabet. And just, I didn't have a clue. And I basically started working, and I saw that Ehiye, the I am, had a particular value and that the share had a particular value. And I started working together. And what I did then was working a little bit with what is called the law of octaves. I would raise or double one of the frequencies a little bit, lower them a little bit, to the fact that I got them within the same, if you like, musical octave. And then I had these made. And here's the thing, you can take any numbers and put them together and have tuning forks together, and they can sound horrendous. They can just be not, it can almost be toxic sounding. And instead I got these two tuning forks and I hit them together and it was supreme. And I thought, oh my goodness gracious, this is extraordinary. Now, musically, they come very close to creating the interval of what is called the fourth. And this is what Gregorian monks, for example, will sing in this ratio. This is also a ratio or interval that causes the auric field to expand. So and what are the odds that these numbers should create a frequency phenomena like this? And it's astronomical. So right now, rather than talk about it, I'm just going to hit them together.
And may I just say that I was there at that lunch when this was all first being talked about. And when Jonathan, which he's going to demonstrate in just a moment, when he said, Andy, you've got to listen to these, it absolutely blew me away. And being head of our R&D department, I went, these are a keeper.
Right. So,
and so we want to share this sound, but it was amazing.
Right. So we are now going to basically put on the magical original sound from musicians so that we can hear this. Everybody just close your eyes and give a listen.
Wow.
I'm going to do one more.
Definitely.
Just breathing this in.
You know, I remember the first time I heard the sound. I don't remember if you just sent me the tuning forks or if maybe you sent me a recording. And it was like hearing the angels sing.
Yes.
And since then, as you know, I recorded it for the Moses Code frequency, which was ultimately re-released with Wayne Dyer. I know that you've worked with Greg Braden. Was that the recording that you put out using the frequency? Was that the one with Greg?
No, that recording actually utilized the sound that the divine name sound that I've been working with Greg, but I sang it in the interval of the Moses Code frequencies, and it kind of sounded like Gregorian monks, and we have lovely Dia doing the fabulous singing and all this stuff. So that was great. One thing I want to add also, I just want to share this as such an important aspect of sound, is that I have always, in all of my books, a formula that I want to share with everyone, which is this: frequency plus intent equals healing. In other words, the vibrations of the sound coupled with the consciousness that we put on the sound create the outcome. So the consciousness that we have on a level, I don't believe, I mean, these are soothing sounding, but by themselves, unless you basically work with your own consciousness to interface, you will not create that, if you like, overall effect that really creates the magic of any sound that we work with. So it's the consciousness. And just lastly, the deepest, most powerful consciousness intentionality that I know of in terms of healing, in terms of any sort of thing, is the energy of love. Whether we call it compassion, gratitude, or whatnot, It is divine. It is the essence of all that is. And you are certainly manifesting that with this wonderful experiment.
I'm so glad that you talked about that, Jonathan. And that's one of the reasons why I've asked Andy to talk about the importance of integration, of intention. When we do our journey together on the 11th, this will be extremely important. The sound that you heard from the tuning forks, that forms the very foundation of the meditation music. You will be hearing that frequency. And there'll be other sounds and voices. We hear the beautiful Tina Malia sing. We hear my voice at a couple of points, but it's really just the foundation of that sound combined with the intention that we are holding for planetary healing. That is what is going to create the powerful, amazing effect. So, Jonathan, anything else you'd like to say about that before we turn it over to Andy?
With our love, our light, and our sound, we can make a difference. We can change the world.
Amen.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
Andy, I know you have such vast experience as a psychologist, as a therapist, doing this work. So, why don't you talk to us a little bit about the power of intention, of integration, because people will have very, very powerful experiences with listening to the sound that we just described, with the deep breathing, the intention, the chant, all of these things combined to build into a rich, even psychedelic experience. So I want to make sure that people have a good foundation of what to expect and how they can best integrate whatever comes up for the highest good.
Oh, Jimmy, this is such an important aspect of what you will be doing on February 11th with this journeying through sound. And I'm so glad that Jonathan did talk about the formula that he created: frequency plus intent equals healing. So I am going to encourage everyone before the experience to really go deeply inside and meditate. And James, I know you're going to be sending out a meditation that people will be able to do before the
That's right.
actual experience. And I want to encourage everyone to spend time with that meditation. Really go within, because set and setting are the elements that bring a positive experience. And I would encourage people to make sure that they do that and to not just pop in and start toning and sounding, because it's not going to be as successful for them and for the planet. So take that time to really meditate, set your intentions. And of course, James, you have set such a beautiful intention of love, and that love. And I love the way you described the tuning forks, the sound of the tuning forks. It's almost like hearing the angels. And so when people are in this experience, the angels are going to be there, and you can ask for those angels to come in.
Yes.
So being able to prepare your body, your mind, and your spirit is so important. The other thing is that you want to, when you are sounding, you want to stay in your comfort zone, and you want to really honor each breath and each sound, and stay in that comfort zone. And if you need to stop for a moment, then that's okay. But really honor yourself. This is going to be a powerful, powerful experience. And the power that we feel through this loving energy that will be sent out to our planet and to all sentient beings is going to be generated from that place within each of us.
Thank you.
Now, when the experience has been completed, this is very, very important. Being in a place of silence, letting that sound integrate within your body, mind, and spirit, there's going to be a lot of emotion, a lot of energy that may come up, and you want to be able to process that. Now, there are many ways you can do that, and certainly I would recommend that people have a journal or paper and pen so that they may record some of their processing when this experience is completed. Whatever it is that comes up, you want to honor that and get it moving through. And so journaling is an excellent way to do that. Now, if you are with other people before the experience starts, you may want to kind of set a verbal contract. Hey, let's be with each other. Let's, share our experience afterwards. But giving yourself that opportunity, that availability to honor the experience.
And I just want to add that it's really important in terms of our consciousness that we view any time that we work with sacred sound and our feelings and consciousness to understand that it is a sacred experience. It's not necessarily a party good time experience. It can be a good time experience in terms of our connecting to higher levels of consciousness, but we need to understand that it is sacred and profound.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is going to go deep within our bodies, minds, and spirits, and to know that the feeling level, as you're feeling this love and projecting that out to Mother Earth, that intention of holding that frequency of love is so important. And James, I am delighted that you are facilitating this powerful, Jonathan coined a term quite a while ago when we started working with planetary sounds called global harmonization. And when you think about that term, that's what's going to be happening on February the 11th. And also,
yeah, I wanted to make sure we get this in.
And also, Jimmy, what a gorgeous segue into from your beautiful journeying into 3 days later,
the World Sound Healing Day, which is, and we invite people to partake in the many different sonic manifestations of healing and divine aspect. It's worldsoundhealingday.org. There are hundreds of different events from dozens of different countries. And once again, together we can make a difference. We can never have too many sacred, high consciousness experiences. So we totally applaud and thank you and everyone involved in this psychedelic experience to just set the field and join us as well. The more the merrier.
Say that website one more time, Jonathan.
worldsoundhealingday.org.
Yes.
And I want to say, James, that the event that you are facilitating, the journeying process on February 11th, our World Sound Healing Day that's coming up on the 14th, it is open to absolutely everyone on the planet. And I encourage everyone to be a participant and share the sounds both of these days.
Yes,
the sonic
absolutely.
Co-creator.
It's no accident that these are coming together so beautifully. Andy, I have one more question for you. There have been times, I've done this meditation hundreds of times. Initially, it started off as a virtual reality program. So imagine just being like right in the middle of this amazing experience. It's very powerful. But when I made the video that we've uploaded onto YouTube, I realized that because of the breathing, because of the frequency, because of the intention, it's just as powerful as using it with the virtual reality classes. And there have been times in my own experience where I'll feel some fear come up when it starts to really build big and strong. And I want to hear your advice if this begins to happen with anyone, or they feel any kind of resistance or any sort of negative feeling. What should they do in the midst of the meditation?
Excellent question, James, because emotion in energy in motion will come up for people. And I think the important thing is for people to know that ahead of time, number one, that, and when it does come up, to let it move through, to go, oh, there it is. I'm feeling this fear, if that's what comes up, or I'm feeling this sadness, or I'm feeling this anger, I'm feeling whatever. That's normal. And to allow yourself to know that ahead of time. And so when it does come up, to let the sound move it through your body, to utilize the sound, to visualize the sound actually in the part of your body that you may be feeling that particular emotion, and let the sound help to move it through. The way out is through.
Oh, that's good advice. It will be very powerful. For those of you who have already been practicing with the meditation, you already know that. My biggest advice to everyone is really give yourself to this. Don't hold back. At the same time, when you're doing the very deep in-breath and out-breath, especially in the middle section where you're breathing very fast, you can monitor that. If you do start to go into a difficult energy, just pull back the breathing ever so slightly. That's one of the beautiful things about having an experience like this, as opposed to, say, many medicine journeys, is that you really can't monitor it, or it is what it is. But with a breathing technique, hearing the frequency with the intention, just if you do start to feel anything that is uncomfortable, the first advice is just go into it even deeper. But if that becomes too difficult, just hold back a little bit. Does that sound like good advice to both of you?
That sounds like beautiful advice, Jimmy. And that, I wanted people to be in their comfort zone. And when they do begin to feel perhaps out of that zone, to pull back a little bit. And they'll have their journal right there if they want to just jot some feelings down, but make it as accessible to move it through as much as you can.
Can I just add I was just getting a rescue remedy Sonic 911. If it gets really out of hand, the most powerful, easiest thing that I know of is the fabulous hum. Take a nice, slow, deep breath, and then sound forth with a like that a few times, and it'll just drop. And then you can go back in, but it's a real nice it's a real nice escape mechanism if you're really in that place.
And also, James, I want people to honor themselves. I want them to honor where they're at. And if they're feeling the sound is too much, it's okay. Whatever you're feeling is okay. And give yourself a little moment of perhaps not sounding, and then come back in. Or as Jonathan just said, hum, to sort of shift the focus of the emotion. But honor where you're at and know that you cannot do this. There's no good, bad, right, or wrong. It is just simply your experience, and honor where you are at.
Because as you were saying, it's really a self-created mechanism. It's not something that's being induced by something else. Your breath, your consciousness, your thoughts are manifesting this. So we have control.
Amen. Yeah, I love that about this particular process is we do have more control, but it's still extremely powerful. Many people have profound awakened experiences. I have literally seen 2 people levitate doing this meditation with the breathing. It is truly powerful. So give everything, pay attention, hold your intention, and I think we're going to have a profound experience for the entire planet. And there's one more thing that I want to share before we go. Jonathan, tell people how they can get those tuning forks, because you're going to want them. Just having the tuning forks handy so you can always just put them up to your ears and just go back into this experience is such a gift.
And here, and you can do it like this, just as a thing on someone else. And once again, you're creating a field with this. So whatever you desire on a positive level, there are incredible tools for manifestation, for healing, for balance, etc. So the really wondrous implements that we can use as sacred sonic activators for light and love. And people can get them right now. We have a limited amount at healingsounds.com. That's our major website, healingsounds.com. And we invite everybody to experience the Moses Code Tuning Forks.
And encourage people to go to Healing Sounds, and sounds is plural. I want to emphasize that because there's been an issue in the past. healingsounds.com. And we have our tuning forks there and lots of wonderful information on sound as a healing modality.
Yes, I highly recommend it. If you're looking for a CD with the meditation, in other words, without the rhythms and the beats that you're going to be hearing on the 11th on that meditation, the original recording that we did with the tuning forks is just the meditation itself. And it's, I think, 20 minutes long. And when Wayne Dyer, the amazing Wayne Dyer, when he first heard that frequency and that meditation, he said it was the most powerful meditation he had ever heard. And I would constantly get texts from friends saying, Wayne Dyer's in front of 5,000 people talking about that meditation right now. So finally, we went ahead and we put it out in another recording called Wishes Fulfilled Frequencies. And I Am Wishes Fulfilled, that's it. You can find that CD or just the audio track. Whatever it takes, let's really give ourselves to this. Let's really impact our lives and the planet, consciousness itself. This is the opportunity that's before us, not only on the 11th, but every day. On the 14th, for the World Sound Healing Day, so many opportunities coming up. So, Jonathan, Andy, thank you. I'm so grateful that you guys joined me and joined us before we have this great experiment. And just thank you for your wisdom. And thank you for inventing it. Well, you didn't invent it, but it was like we kind of fell down the rabbit hole, wasn't it? It just found us.
Last thing, we heal the planet.
We heal ourselves.
We heal ourselves.
And we heal the planet. We can make a difference.
We have a choice.
Amen.
Oh.
I love you both. Have a beautiful day. Thanks to all of you out there. We'll see you on the 11th. Blessings to you all.